Hello, trading is closed on July 17th, 2019. We'll go over our calls in detail in just a minute. We had a couple of ideas. One was the pattern with the early high. That's what this is. We also had targets, and since there wasn't a sharp gap lower, you expect these to print. These didn't. These lowered too, and times run out, so we'll have to add them to the list. Time runs out on the higher target early tomorrow. I think it's too far away, and that'll fail too, so we'll just have to add them to the list, expecting them to print at some time. We have a new target from today's pattern. As always, if we gap down, it won't print, otherwise that's the call. During the day early on, we got an ultimate sell signal and a sell signal. They worked. MEJT says this rally was false, says the drop is false, and that's how we get the target. The real question here is this up wave over? Here's your A, here's your B, right at the fib retracement, and we've started to go down, taking out some of these higher highs. So I should say highs, but what you really want for confirmation is to take out some prior lows, which hasn't happened yet, but for now it's a reasonable candidate. We had these reasons for a possible top here. We had the VIX Bollinger Band reversal we mentioned, the DeMark sell signals, the break under the lower trend line of the rising wedge, the compatible wave count, and the Dow theory sell. We've talked about these a number of times. We have new signals today. We have a trader VIX 2B sell signal. She went under the par, which broke the previous high. We also have some failed MEJT targets, typically seen at major changes in trend. You leave some failed targets behind. So this is a reasonable candidate. I'm not 100% certain that's it for a couple of reasons. One is breadth remains good. Typically, if we're going to get a significant move down, I'd like to see more deterioration of breadth than we've seen. And the other thing is the NASDAQ McClellan oscillator is near its lower Bollinger Band. That's what you see typically at a low, not a high. Doesn't mean this high won't work. It's just hard to be 100% certain at this point. Wednesday's pattern, we had the higher targets. They didn't print. Conflicting signals, commonest thing. Next common thing didn't get. We got the least common. Neither one of those things happened. That's just life sometimes. Well, here's tomorrow. Tomorrow's pattern has the early low. Usually it's a rally day with a late high. If it's negative, there's typically a big drop in the first hour or two. And since futures are down, it's possible we could get this big drop in the first hour or two, but you never know what will happen overnight. If we don't get it, if we don't drop right from the open, we have a higher target. There's a wall into the close. If we gap up, as happens often, there's a perfectly valid count saying this drops over. There's your A, there's your B, perfect Fibonacci ratios of everything. But it's not the only way to count this. Netflix has collapsed overnight, and that might take the averages lower with it. And if we do keep dropping here, it increases the chances that this high was it for the leg. It's a strong candidate at this time, not 100% certain myself that that's it. So, tomorrow's pattern has the early low. If we don't gap down smartly, we have a higher target. But if we do, typically there's more trouble ahead. And that's today's call.